Hi everyone, Tim the Plane Man here. Welcome to Plane Time Red Baron Triplane Edition. I've just received my Dancing Wings hobby kit of the Fokker DR1, which is the triplane that famously Baron von Richtofen of the Luftwaffe in World War I fought against the British Sopwith planes, including the Sopwith Camel, and for many years it was Captain Roy Brown in the Sopwith Camel B1770, which is what the markings of this plane are, that was credited with the kill of shooting down Manfred Baron von Richtofen in April, I think it was, of 2018, before he managed to get his 81st kill as a German pilot. He is most famous for flying the Red Baron, as part of the Flying Circus. That's what they called it. The Flying Circus was a bunch of planes that were multicolored. The Baron von Richthofen painted his red, others painted theirs blue and yellow and various different colors, as they basically went out to battle in the skies against the British in the Sopwith Camel. So this is classic rivalry, and it's written up really quite nicely in this book that I picked up off Amazon. I'll put the link in the description as well. It talks about some of the history of the rivalry between the British and the Germans, the rivalry specifically in the air between the British Royal Flying Corps, flying planes like the Sopwith Camel, and the Germans with their fleet of planes, including the most famous one, which is this Fokker DR1 triplane. So what we're going to do is I'll just get set up and we'll unbox the plane, figure out what it is that I'm going to be building as the rain rolls in. I can't go fly. This is going to be my build project through at least the first part of the winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. So stay tuned, and I'll put links in the description so that you can click through to different parts of the unboxing. Please stick around, it'll be kind of interesting, and if you don't, consider liking the video, please subscribe. There will be a series. I'm going to build out this plane. I'm not going to show the details of building the plane, but I'm going to show interesting things that arise as part of the build as I build this plane out. I deliberately bought the kit version. Dancing Wings has a complete ready-to-fly ARF, I guess, ready-to-fly version that you can buy, where someone's done all the hard work for you. I'm going to have fun by building it, and let's see together how it all comes together, starting with unboxing. Alright, so here's the box. This is the Fokker DR1 airplane. Let's just have a quick read of the specs here. It doesn't actually say too much on the front of the box, except for balsa wood airplane. So potentially we'll see more details inside. I believe it should be a 770mm wingspan plane, which will be pretty much the same as the Sopwith Camel in terms of size. One of the reasons I chose this version of the model, so that I really do want to have, ideally, the Sopwith Camel and the Fokker triplane, and basically fly them at the same time. I guess not. Maybe with someone else helping. We shall see. But ideally, I end up with both planes flying and in the air. We shall see how that goes. So let's open her up and let's see what we've got. All right, here we go. Careful how I'm cutting it so I don't break anything inside. And here we go. So this box is chock full of goodies, and it's full. There's no empty space in here. This box is full. So it seems like quite a small box, but tightly well packed. So here we have, to start with, a little sticky. All stuck together. All right, so we've got a pack of laser cut. Are they balsa? I think there is balsa here. So there's balsa on this side, definitely. These are plywood. They're fairly thin ply, but they are plywood. So there's wooden pieces and I'm guessing basswood wood for strength, and there's balsa wood for various things, like it looks like here we've got fuselage components. Oh, that's the back part of the wing. You can see the kind of the shell shape of the back of the wing. There we have, actually there's our aileron there, and so that will, yeah, that's actually the ailerons, right? They're the ailerons on the back of the plane. So that'll be all quite nice seeing how that comes together. Let's start with that. Here's our cowling for the front of the plane, and lots of room for cutting it out. There's a little indentation on here. I'm sure that's for positioning where the motor is going to go. I can see kind of a faint line along the cowling that I think is a guideline for, yes it is, it's a guideline for how it might need to be cut out. We've got, ooh, that's really nice. Look at this. Everything is stuck in really quite nicely. Firmly, I should say. I mean, it's a little awkward to get it out, but it's firmly packed, which is nice because it's been protected. Look at this gorgeous piece of wood. That is the kind of the fake bottom part of the motor. It's going to probably, I'm sure that will fit in here somewhere like that on the plane at the front, and it maybe adds a little bit of weight, but really that looks very, very nice and pre-assembled with the pieces. I don't have to do that, and I wouldn't have minded, but I don't mind that it's there together, so I'll paint that up and make that look really nice, to make it look a bit like on the Sopwith Camel. You can see how the motor shows through at the front of the plane. Ah, so good. This was, I was a little disappointed in the guns on the Sopwith Camel, but oh, here we go. Again, everything's glued in tightly, stuck together carefully so that nothing shifts around and moves. Look at the guns here. These are beautiful. These are, okay, so they're wooden construction with a little bit of carbon fiber, and then a plastic barrel here, and then this is I believe it might be plastic at the front, which is the barrel at the front of the plane. The actual gun sight on the front here, you can see that is wood cut out. So they're beautiful little guns. This plane is going to look pretty gorgeous. So let's do the garbage and keep the nice pieces. I'll put that out here. See what else we have inside the box. So here we have, oh yes, here we have the decals. So we have a set of decals. I didn't realize that came with the plane, so that's awesome. We've got the Iron Cross, several flavors of the Iron Cross that will be going on the wings and the fuselage, and then the famous moustache style painting that goes on the front of the plane. So that's actually really, really nice. Let's see, we put that over there. What else have we got? Now here's what there's several different flavors of this kit. You can buy with all of the pieces, including servos, ESC, and even covering. There's an option. There's several different flavors. If you're buying the kit, you can buy it direct from Dancing Wings Hobby, as I did, or you can buy it from Amazon or eBay and various other places. And they have different flavors. One flavor is just the plain kit with nothing, with no extras. One is what I bought, which is the kit plus the motor. And then you can buy, I think, the kit plus the motor and the ESC, the kit plus the motor and the ESC and servos. I think there's there might even be options for kit plus motor plus ESC plus servos plus receiver, because Dancing Wings have these great little receivers that they make that and you can pick a receiver for whatever protocol you prefer. They have a they have a version for DSMX, and they have a version for Futaba, and they have a version for FlySky, and a version for FR Sky, and you can get those. And then they have a version of the kit that includes the covering, the plastic sheet covering for the plane. So this is the version I bought with just the motor, but we've got a really nice little motor here. Let's just take that out and have a quick look. Oh, I love that. No soldering. Look at that. It comes with, I think they're 3.5 millimeter bullet connectors here. Beautiful. I love that they've got that. I just did some soldering today, and I mean, I'm getting better at it, but I wouldn't say I love it. So we've got a PowerX brushless motor. It's an MC2212A 1100 kV. I think you should be able to see that if I put that down here. Maybe it doesn't balance too well so that you can get the picture, get it in frame, but I think there you have it. There you can see that. Plus there's the mount and the collet and the spinner. So that's all going to look quite nice. That'll fit on the front of the plane. I'm sure it'll fit perfectly. That's what we got in here. So we do have an ESC. That's because I bought it as an extra. So the Dancing Wings hobby sells electronic components as well. I ordered a forget it honestly. I think it was a 20 amp or maybe it's 30 amp ESC, and we don't really need to look at that in detail, but we have that. And this will be that's a smaller, that's a 10 amp ESC that I bought for another plane, so we don't need to look at that for now. Stickers, beautiful. All right, so we've got, I like stickers, if you haven't figured it out. So here we have Dancing Wings beautiful. I mean, I love the Dancing Wings hobby logo. It's really quite pretty, and I was hoping that there would be stickers. I noticed with some of the other Dancing Wings planes that I built that they didn't have stickers, and then when I built some others, they do, and I think it adds something. So regardless of the historical accuracy of the plane, I will absolutely be putting Dancing Wings hobby stickers on my plane. They look great, and I'm also going to, I mean, the rest of the plane I will be using things like the motor and the guns, and I'm going to be covering the plane not with a plastic cover. My plan is to cover it with silk span, and I've tried, did a test run on the Sopwith Camel. I covered it with plastic and tissue. Looks okay, but I also did a test run on one of the components and covered it with silk span and then painted it. It looks absolutely gorgeous, but added a little bit of weight. Well, this plane, the way it's spec'd out, A, will be a little heavier anyway, and B, is powerful enough to take the little bit of extra weight of that. So I'm going to silk span it, and that will be, I think it's going to look really, really nice. So here we have our assembly instructions, our instruction manual. It should be fairly straightforward. I mean, it's not complicated. I see, most of these, this is drawn. It's not, generally speaking, except for one of these, a couple of these are photographs, but most of these are actually drawings, which is actually pretty nice. It's clearly marked right here. This is one of the most important things on the plane, is the center of gravity, which is 125 millimeters from the front of the plane, and pretty much, I would say, on the main spar of the lower wing. So there's your center of gravity, and I have learned through painful experience that getting that center of gravity right can make a huge difference between a plane that flies like a bird and a pile of toothpicks on the ground. So that's important. It's got information about where the push rods go. Push rods will cross inside the fuselage before they end up at the elevator and the rudder. And oh, here we finally have, this is our specifications. So wingspan 770 millimeters, length 630 millimeters, net weight approximately 650 grams. Now when they say net, I'm not really sure what they mean, net of what. Does that mean including the battery, not including the battery? I'm not sure, but still, it's a heavy plane. The Sopwith Camel is about 300 grams right now, so this is out of the gate a heavier plane, and that's fine because this motor will drive it. It's a 2212 1100 kV motor. Actually, the suggested motor is up to 1000. Well, this is 1100 kV. It suggests two 2.5 gram servos and two 5 gram servos, and I will be using my own servos, but and I'll be putting digital servos in. A 7 to 8 inch prop. It doesn't specify the pitch of the prop, but I'm going to guess something like a 70-45 or an 80-30, and I will measure it. That's what I learned with the Sopwith Camel, is it's important to measure the thrust, so I'll be doing that too. Greater than 3-channel radio. I mean, it requires 5 servos, 4 servos out of the gate, so that's you know, it's got to be 4-channel at least. And if I'm gonna if the aileron servos are on separate channels, which I kind of like to do because it gives you more control, then that would be 5 channels. But otherwise, I think we're pretty straightforward there. And if you haven't figured it out, that means I won't find servos in the box because I didn't order them. I'll be using separate servos that I ordered separately for that. So anything special else about the instructions? Not too much. Seems pretty straightforward. Here's a nice little layout board that shows all of the pieces that I am about to continue with the unboxing. But there's your instructions. Very nice. And here we go. We also have, apart from these instructions, something I would more call plans. There we go. So printed. Oh yes. Okay, this is going to be pin down plans. Nice. I kind of missed that on some planes where they just say how to throw it together, but this is actually going to be, you know, I can pin this down on my building board and build out. So this is the horizontal. Let me just see if I've got that in the frame. So here we go. The tail, the horizontal stabilizer and elevator, the vertical stabilizer, yeah, that's very interesting. It almost seems like the vertical stabilizer is just a rudder. There is no separate static piece to that, a bit like the Fokker E3 that I've built. The whole rudder surface actually moves. There's a wing on the landing gear. Effectively, in some ways, this plane had 5 wings. You might even call it a quad plane. You'll see how that comes through. And the lower wings, where you've got these kind of shell at the back, and that's all laid out beautifully in a very clear detail. And I am absolutely sure that when I open up the pieces, the wooden bits, they will fit perfectly. The laser cut pieces that these guys do are generally really, really nice. So here we also have an assembly for, and this will be the upper wings, I guess. Anything else? Yes, just the upper wings. So interestingly, the upper wings are built in, both wings are built in 2 pieces. I'm assuming that there might be a dihedral on both wings as a result. There was, you know, by contrast, the Sopwith Camel, the top wing is flat, the bottom wing has a dihedral, and so the top wing is built as a single piece. There's a place here on the, let's see, that's going to be the bottom wing for servos. So it looks to me like there's ailerons on the bottom wing and no ailerons on the top wing, and these ailerons are pretty big. They run effectively the entire length of the wing. I'm going to have to look that up and see if that's how the real plane was, but they run the entire length of the wing and even extend out beyond the wingtips, which is kind of interesting. So these 2 servos here will drive those, and I'm not sure what else. These might be mounting holes for this, mounting plates for, there has to be struts to hold the wings up. So as you might know, I was challenged a little bit with how to make that happen on the Sopwith Camel build. I'm always comparing the Sopwith Camel and the DR1, the Fokker triplane, and in my defense, I mean, that's what happened in the real world. Fundamentally, the Fokker DR1 was built in response to the success of the Sopwith Camel, and was designed specifically to counter it. And if the war had lasted longer, we might have had a different outcome of the success. But it looked a lot like, because the Fokker DR1 was released only, I don't know, just a little more than 6 months before the end of the First War. So it was basically starting to be a challenge to the superiority of the British forces with the Sopwith Camel. But other things overtook history, which is probably good. But the challenge, or the rivalry between the two planes was technological as well as military. It was a technological response to the advances of the Sopwith Camel. And this is one of the interesting stories about World War I. Sorry to digress a little bit, but I will be talking about this because I find it fascinating. And if you don't, just skip ahead. I'll put a link where you can click to. If you think about World War I, this is the Sopwith, the Fokker triplane was basically released to the German forces early in 2018. In 1918. So more than 100 years ago now. But that was only 10 years, just slightly more than 10 years from the flight of the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk. So within 10 years we went from, we didn't even know how to create powered heavier than air flight, to having these built for purpose warplanes that could fly into the skies over France and have dogfights in the air between opposing forces, and the British and the Germans. The Americans also flew the Sopwith Camel. The German allies also, I believe, flew the Fokker planes, and this is a mere 10 years after the incredible breakthrough of the Wright brothers in Kitty Hawk. So the progression and the technology that we as human race have come up with to make the Sopwith Camel such a powerful machine, and the Fokker triplane within 10 short years, is pretty incredible. And it's one of the reasons why, honestly, why I'm building this plane. It's not just about the the romance of the World War battle between the Red Baron and the Flying Circus against Canadian Captain Roy Brown flying the Sopwith Camel and winning the battle. As some of you may know, the Sopwith Camel and Canadian pilot Captain Roy Brown was credited with the kill of Baron von Richtofen for many, many years, until probably after even World War II, when advances in forensic science and technology, the investigation came up with the evidence that, well, actually the bullet that killed him came from below. They actually did the CSI trick, figuring out where the bullet path came from, and they had detailed records, of course, of because Baron von Richthofen died, and after his plane crashed, it came down on the Allied side of the lines. So there's extensive photography and records of the recovery, his funeral, and all those kinds of things, and enough information so that later on they could figure out that the story that had been going around, that it was actually an Australian ground gunner who shot down the Red Baron while he was fighting two Sopwith Camels in the air above, is most likely the truth. That actually it wasn't the Sopwith Camel that shot him down. It was a ground gunner, which is an interesting footnote in history, I guess. But that will be the end of my digression for now. I'll bring up some other stuff like that later. Let's keep on with the unboxing. So what else have we got in here? We have, okay, we've got some carbon fiber. We've got some control rods, which are wire, interestingly, with pre-bent Z-bends, which I love because I find the concept of bending those wires incredibly difficult and frustrating, and so I'm really happy that I don't have to do that. And there's a bunch of carbon fiber in various places in the plane. I won't open those, but that will be for reinforcing various parts of the structure of the plane. We've got a little bit more sticky tape here, so I'm going to have to slice it open without cutting anything important. We've got some more, this is metal pieces. These are all metal brackets. I'm guessing this is going to be undercarriage. So that's quite nice because undercarriage tends to be quite fragile, especially on these World War I planes. Let's see what else we've got here. Alright. Oh, this is wheels. This is, okay, so we've got, these will be wheel covers, I think, and some other various plastic pieces. You know what, let's just open it up and have a quick look. Won't do any harm. What have we got? Yeah, that's various different pieces of rubber and wheels, some small control rods, so that'll be for the, most likely for the aileron servos to connect to the ailerons. Okay, this is actually very interesting. This, I think, is carbon fiber. Is it plastic? It's very stiff, strong for plastic. Maybe it's plastic. Okay, but these are cutout pieces that will attach to the plane. This is just your standard Velcro for attaching your battery securely in the plane. A whole bunch. Okay, here we have. This is for attaching the control rods to the servos. I really like these kind of connectors. If they weren't in the plane, I would have used them anyway. Basically, they screw into the top of the control arms on the servo with a pivot on the top, rather than, and there's probably a technical name, I don't know what it is, but rather than actually just sort of feeding the wire into the servo arm itself. Here's your hinges, and there's another little piece of plastic in there. This is the kind of thing that you have to be very careful not to lose. One of the interesting things about these models is generally you get one of everything you need and exactly one. So interestingly here we get 3 of these little fiberglass hinges, which I really like, but there's only 3, so it's okay. I've got some spares if I need them. And a whole bunch of screws, and they're all wood screws. I think I can't see any bolts in here, so that's pretty much wood screws for various parts of the plane. And that will be holding things like the wooden pieces and other things like that, fuselage, etc. We're almost done. This is just about to the end. Everything is securely fixed in here. Very, very nice. And here we go. So what have we got here? This is wheel. Here's our wheel. Well, here's our undercarriage. So this is pre-bent. Oh, so nice. Pre-bent undercarriage wires and wheels, or tires, I guess I would say. I'm guessing that there might be this. I'm going to say pretty sure now these are going to be wheel covers, and that the wheels will probably be wood. I'll guess that there'll be some wood wheels in there. And here we have foam tires, which are they work really well, and they're quite light, and they look good as well, actually. And then, so we've got that'll be our axle for the wheels. And this is our undercarriage. So if this is the undercarriage, this is not undercarriage. And it'll be some kind of bracing. I wonder even if the struts for putting on the top wing are metal. We shall see. But here we have very precisely and cleanly bent, pre-bent, pre-formed metal undercarriage, so it'll be nice and springy. It'll provide a little bit of suspension, and I'm sure that it'll fit something like this, and the wheels will go on here like this, and this will be to make them look pretty. So that's all going to look really quite nice. I'm really looking forward to building this model. I expect it to come together quite quickly. I'm not going to rush it though. I'll be taking my time and building it carefully, and as I always do, and taking as much time as it takes. I'm in no hurry, there's no deadline, and I will be posting videos as I build, so look out for them from time to time, or just subscribe and then you'll get a notification when I post a new video. So that might be another way for it to go. So I'm not going to go through all of the wooden pieces on the plane for now. I'll wait till I actually start opening it, but here we have, everything is here. I'll get it a little bit organized. Maybe it's because there's two of them and he can organize while Pilot Robert opens everything up. But that's the complete plane. I'm building a balsa wood, radio controlled Red Baron Triplane, Dancing Wings hobby, Fokker DR1. Come along for the ride. Thanks everyone. Bye for now. Like, subscribe. Please consider following the channel, and I appreciate you joining me. Also ask questions if you've got any questions about the plane. If you're thinking about buying it, let me know. Happy to help. I'm having fun doing this, and my goal is to help other people have as much fun as I do. Thanks everyone. Bye for now.